Hello, welcome to the monthly After Dark show. I am getting everything lined up right there. I am once again really sorry for all the technical issues that we had in the main show. That's why we went a little bit long, because I wanted to make sure that everybody felt like they were getting the appropriate amount of show time. I didn't want people to feel like they were getting shortchanged because I had issues on my end, which is never a good time. So thanks for hanging in there tonight. I hope there's a Patrick. Hi, Patrick.
Are we live?
We are indeed.
Did you send a link to Twitter to Chris or
no? I need you to, buddy.
Will do. I'm doing it.
Hello, Kimberly. How are you?
Sleepy. I'm so sleepy.
There you go. Yeah. You don't get to yell at me for the show going long when we had 20 minutes of technical issues at the beginning that you didn't know about. This is why you shouldn't complain about shit.
I still get to yell at you though.
No, you do not. Hello.
I'm cranky. I can yell at whomever I want to fucking yell at. Don't fucking fuckity fuck.
You're just swearing so you can say that you swore.
Wow.
That's literally
We're
all
not
you're
live, right? Are we live?
We're live. Yes. We are always, and I mean always. After Dark is always live when you are invited. Every single time. Because I make sure that everything is working. Ridiculous. Yes, we are live. Funny how that works.
Are we wearing awesome hats? Because I can go get one.
I mean, I'm not, but I am already awesome.
I did not think we were live.
It's because you didn't look. So, oh, boy. All right.
Being cranky. Don't talk to me.
Yes, I'm picking up on that. All right. So it is After Dark time, ladies and gentlemen. This is our monthly show where we just talk about whatever we want to talk about. I'm waiting. I hope Paul makes it to the After Dark. He usually does. Yeah, I hope he does. And I say that because he asked me a question that I didn't have time to answer in the main show, which is what my favorite area control game is. And I want to start there because this actually plays into our conversation before about tasting games. I don't like area control. That's the short answer. I'm looking around up here. I don't have very many at all that I think count as area control. Do I have any? Help me. You guys can see my shelves. Do you see anything that would count as area control? Stevenson's Rocket? No, not really. Amerigo. Right? Amerigo has area control. Scythe does. Those two do. Right?
What's your BGG name?
Me, Dourgrim. Dourgrim. And I definitely do not have an up-to-date collection on there, so don't even bother. Like, I mean, you can look at it, but it will be terrible. So, I don't know. I don't do it. Area control. Entdecker's area control, right? Yeah, don't hate the game, hate the mechanism. That's me. I don't like area control. I never have.
Yeah, I guess Entdecker does have some area control.
Kind of, right? Because you are trying to get, I have the most things on the island, so therefore I get the most points. That counts as area control, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that sometimes I think we invent these terms for games, right? And then we try and cram games into that category because we don't want to invent more categories. So like there's a different area influence versus area control. I have no idea what the difference is. Yeah. What's the difference?
Chris can tell us.
No, I can't tell you the difference.
Oh, well, I have minor opinions. But...
Oh.
Well, area of influence is like El Grande's area of influence, where you might have multiple people in the same spot, and whoever has the majority will score, right? So that's influence. Versus area of control is usually described as you're the only person allowed in that spot, right. And you beat the other person out of it, like a risk thing, or I think it's something else.
Sure, I got you. So in that case,
mumble shit to the table. Thank you.
No. So there's a reason. There's a reason that we didn't do it because I was thrown because I have it as a sound file. I've got the old audio bumper that was created forever ago for Punchboard Media that I was planning on doing when we were doing OBS, and then OBS wasn't able to do the Hangout, and I don't know why. So I didn't forget, Chad. We just ran out of time.
Okay.
So technically, then I guess Entdecker would be area influence then because it is multiple people. So Brandon has just left. He's like, let's all look at Brandon's room for a second here. This is always fun. There you go. That's the level of professionalism that we bring to the table. Ha ha. So okay. No. I know that we try to use those categories to compare games. I agree with that, Daniel. I'm not saying that that's not the case. I'm saying that sometimes we try to call games a category because we don't know what else to call them, and they don't fit.
Also, the BGG categories could use a facelift, right? Because you've got like the deduction category. It really annoys me because you've got Code 777 and Werewolf in the same freaking category. Like, like social deduction is really different than like pure deduction, right? Like,
Right.
at least I think. And so,
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and social deduction should be its own category, period.
yeah.
And it probably should have a better name than that. Although it's not incorrect, but it does link itself to true deduction games, and they aren't true deduction
Let's
games.
call it Lion Liars Who Lie. I love
Yeah,
that.
there's the
Speaking of social deduction, I played one at
on
Kids
purpose.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Did you like it?
It was heartthrob. I didn't realize it until we were done that it's a social deduction game. You're trying to figure out who Kimberly wants to date. And she wanted to date Trevor.
No, I wouldn't want to date Trevor.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, so we named all we had to name ourselves girls. And everyone came up with like stripper names, and then we picked which boys we wanted to name. So it was pretty funny.
Nice. I don't know. So
I'm sorry, you did not just imply that Kimberly was a stripper name, did you?
No, not at all. The boys who didn't already have girl names came up with stripper names.
Mm-hmm. I love you.
Thank you.
Kimberly could be a stripper name.
Hey.
It could be.
Anything could be.
Exactly.
Trevor seems like a player.
That's sort of my point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm going to call you Sparkles McGlitter Tits now, Bill.
There you go. I don't care. That's fine.
That's what happened.
Bill's stripper name.
That works for me. Can I just say, by the way, I'm going to change gears because I don't want to talk about stripper names anymore. Can I just say that doing the Extra Life Marathon in person for 25 hours made it a much different experience than last year when we did half of it virtually. I'm really glad. No offense to you guys. I really missed all of you, but I'm really glad we did it in person this year because, boy, I did not have that horrific morale drop this year that I had last year. Last year at about 4 a.m., I pretty much wanted to off myself by the time I was to that point because I was all alone talking on a live stream to nobody, literally to nobody for about 2.5 hours trying to just keep myself moving. And unfortunately, the way that I did it, I didn't have any straight up video games to play on that computer, so it just didn't work. It was just bad. But man, Extra Life kicks my butt compared to like I feel like crap now.
What was your favorite game of the whole thing?
What?
What was your favorite game of the whole thing?
My favorite game of Extra Life.
Dude,
I will say Dude is the game that made me laugh the hardest out of all the games that I played.
That's not bad.
I taught a lot of games over the span of that. And the joy of introducing Brass Lancashire to people
Brass is so good.
that had never played it before was really high up on the list. That was, I adore that game anyway. And getting to teach it in such a nice format to people was an absolute blast. So that would be real close to the top for me. Now, having said that, I didn't log plays. And I was up for like 29 hours straight, so I don't remember a lot of stuff. Like I know I played a bunch of games. We did play Pick a Fucking Card.
So proud of you. See, look, I'm not the only one who F-bombed it on the show tonight.
No. Well, I did that on purpose to make you feel better.
I mean, I F-bombed on purpose. I really didn't know we were live. I thought there was I thought I was going to get a warning like you do for the regular show.
No.
And I'm tired. Sorry for all of the swearing, kids.
It's all good. It's all good.
Where are you recording from, Kimberly? Are you like
My
in
bed. With my diet stuffed teddy bear and Mr. Pickles
Nice.
and my Chewbacca onesie. I'm tired.
That is all right. I would just like to point out Daniel Newman doesn't like Martin Wallace's games, and
Valid.
a lot of people don't. I would argue that a lot of people have, like he designs in a very specific way, and it's very easy to dislike most of his stuff as a result of it. I will say, however, that I've always been a little bit of a fan, and B, Australia might be his return to form. Like that game is really good. And that the other table played that while we were playing something else. I don't remember what it was that we were playing. Well, they were playing that now. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's going to bug me. I don't know. Maybe it was brass. Might have been brass actually. But Australia has been a hit with everybody that has been taught it yet.
Do you own brass?
I do.
Can you bring it?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want me to just bring Lancashire or both?
The pretty new one, if you have it.
Well, I have both of them. That's my point.
I've never played brass.
Birmingham.
Oh, then hell yes, I'll bring it. Absolutely.
I tried. I think it's Age of Industry, the supposedly streamlined redo.
Yeah.
I couldn't play that, but
okay. Well, brass. I mean, it's kind of the same-ish game. So I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna like this a whole lot better, but I'll be happy to bring it. It's one of my all-time favorites. So
I actually think I was in part bothered by just how ugly Age of Industry was.
That's fair. That's fair. And I tell you what, you'd have hated first edition brass thing because that might be one of the ugliest games that's ever been put into a box.
Is there any designer that has had as many hideous games as Martin Wallace?
I don't know.
I mean,
Brandon, who
Reiner has like 4,000 bajillion games.
Yeah, Reiner. Well, that's almost not fair though, because like as a proportion, yeah, just sheer quantity. So like as a percentage, are you saying like the most games are the ugliest? I don't know. Friedman Breeze's games aren't usually particularly pretty.
Oh, that's valid. Yeah.
Like
I like the green.
Well,
great. So if you like green, his games are pretty. That's literally where it ends.
I feel like green doesn't substitute that art usually, but
And if you look on the cover, of what's the Futuropia, the guy kind of looks like me.
Really?
Oh, now we know why he there you go. That's fine.
No, it's like the moment the cover came out, people were like emailing me, and I'm like, that's not me, but I'm flattered because it's vaguely, ish. But
yeah, Chad did mention it during Extra Life. Someone offered him a copy of the Griffin Games edition of Brass for free, and he said no. It is a astonishingly ugly print. It's real. I mean, it literally used silver and gold covered plastic tiddlywinks as its money.
Wow.
Like I would rather have shitty paper money than have tiddlywinks.
So what is the ugliest game you've ever seen?
The ugliest game I've ever seen? Netter's brought up Splatter games.
I was going to say, those are pretty damn ugly.
Pretty high up on the list.
Pretty freaking ugly.
Hang on. I'm going to qualify that, and I'm going to answer you with the ugliest game that I liked. Okay. I think that's a more important thing because there's just some shit games that publishers don't know what the hell they're doing out there, right? That doesn't count. The ugliest game that I like, I think, would be Through the Ages, the first edition of it. Like when the game first came out, it looks like a spreadsheet. It has no charm whatsoever. It just looks like a spreadsheet full of these stupid little discs. But
I don't remember it being ugly. Oh God, what's Brandon showing us?
It's definitely not pretty.
In the Shadow of the Emperor is kind of a decent game.
Yeah, it's right here.
God, that is an ugly game.
That's got a permanent spot in my collection.
My God, that's ugly. I mean,
it is like you know what this is?
Orange and yellow with an off orange as your background, and it's just
wow.
Okay, you remember how we make jokes about angry white dudes on game covers? I feel like Rio Grande was like, "Hold my beer."
Yeah.
Kalis, you got nothing. Here we go.
And a woman staring at him like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Hang on, I'm gonna go get Belrati so everybody can see it.
Did you take it from the house?
Did everybody?
Oh, pretty.
See it?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Somebody named Lucas pointed a good one in the chat room.
Yeah. The chat is taking issue with our shot at Splatter by citing Food Chain Magnet, and I agree. Food Chain Magnet's card art is excellent. I love the retro art style.
It's very cute, and I like.
Golden Ages. Golden Ages is a really good choice.
Oh, yeah.
That's
nice.
Yeah,
see that falls in the category of games I really like that are really ugly.
Yeah, it is a decent game with ugly ass art.
The first edition of Medici is the ugliest game I've ever owned.
It is ugly.
It's pretty terrible. Yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
I'm trying to look on my shelves and see if there are any games that I still own that I think of and go, oh God, that's ugly. Besides Through the Ages, because that's how I thought of that one in the first place.
I mean, any 18xx game is ugly.
Yeah, they're functional though. It's not ugly. It's just boring.
Functional. We're talking about ugly.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I would say
pretty
boring
ugly.
and ugly are different, right?
No.
Like,
It's ugly.
all right. I don't know. I have my copy of 1870 isn't particularly ugly. It's drab, but it's not. Maybe my smiley face helped. I went through a phase back in the day when I would go to a lot of conventions and game days, and people would borrow my games and I wouldn't get them back. So, what?
Yeah, I have no idea what she said there.
I don't know. It wasn't me that froze up though, right?
No, it was her with
Cosmic Encounter has been ugly many times in its many iterations. That's been a super ugly game. The pyramid version of what?
Of Medici.
Oh, Medici. Yeah, I've never played that game in physical form. I've only ever played the app.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and the app is really good. I enjoy the app.
Lucas's link. That's ugly.
Yeah, isn't that ugly? Wow.
This isn't going to be a trick link to get us to look at Boosin Memo or anything dumb like that, is it?
No.
No, that game's not ugly.
Yep.
Water. So there we go.
There
I'm
are
not clicking on any suspicious links. I'm sorry.
It's a BGG link. He's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a BGG
Mhm.
link. Like how is a BGG link suspicious?
I don't know, Lucas.
It's a BGG link.
Well, it's Luke.
I know.
He's a BGG admin. He's not going to send us something terrible.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe he would. I don't know.
Yeah, he might.
I don't
Or
know.
he definitely would.
Kalis.
Oh my
agree,
God.
Chad.
The box of Kalis is bad.
Does
Yeah.
look nice, but we're getting a bit oversaturated with Detroit.
This
What
Belrati
is that?
card.
There you go.
Oh, hold on. Let
Oh,
me get
that's
in there.
beautiful. What is that? I love
That's-
that monster.
That's
That's
not.
Bel-
The aardvark
That's
guy. or-
Belrati.
Yes.
Yeah, it's hideous.
That's our
That's-
favorite
I've ever seen.
warthog
That's
rat, aardvark rat thing. I don't know what all he is.
So
His
there are a few games. I got absolutely crucified on my own show about a year ago because I defended the look of Terraforming Mars and said I didn't think it was particularly ugly. And everyone and their brother basically lost their shit at me and said that it was one of the ugliest games.
Yeah,
The cubes are fine. Those
the
cards,
cubes are fine.
which is the game, are fucking
fine.
hard ugly.
They're fine. It's clip art, but it's
It's
fine.
clip art.
Who cares?
It's
It's, not
it's-
ugly. Clip art in and of itself is not inherently ugly. It's
I
lazy.
love the pets card. Sorry.
Yeah, it's lazy, but it's not
a
ugly.
Clip art mixed with photography mixed.
I don't know. I disagree. I don't ever look at that game and think of it as ugly. I have a lot of games that
Swoon.
like I don't look at it and hold it up as a trophy of the pinnacle of art in games, but I also
No.
don't be like, oh, this game is super ugly. I have games
It
that are
just-
super ugly. That's not one.
It looks like a prototype. That's all. It just looked unfinished.
Yeah. It looks like a 6th grade graphic artist kind of went to town. And
I
made-
literally thought it was a prototype the first time I saw it. Much like my poor
Yes,
sweet
thank you.
Patrick.
Thank you.
Yeah. I love you, Patrick. The first Glory to Rome is real hideous.
Okay.
I understand the black boxes. I like the clean graphic design and stuff. I literally thought Patrick peed his black box edition of Glory to Rome.
Tom, thank you. I agree. Functional equals perfect. I just want to be able to play the
No,
game.
functional equals functional. That's all it
good
is.
enough. That's good enough.
It's fine if that's what you're looking for, but we weren't talking about functional. We were talking about ugly.
Pretty.
I don't know.
Pretty.
It's fine. It's fine. And this is, of course, all taste too. Like I've had a lot of people.
Oh no, no.
Here's what I want to throw out. I don't know how I feel about it, but so I was at my buddy's and he's got a weird game collection. So I pulled off Ispahan, and it's a
Okay.
Quinid. It's a Quinid print of it, though. I've never seen it before.
I've never seen
So it
that
was a
one.
really beautiful cover, but
Yeah.
it was the standard guts. It was the same insides is the one that I have from
Yep.
Istari.
So
I
it's
was
just a
just a
better
lot-
cover on the same game.
Well,
Yeah.
they did it like their bookshelf stuff or whatever they do, don't they? I forget what Quinted does with their boxes.
I guess I'm not familiar with it.
They do some kind of weird. They always make them pretty on the outside, so they
Yeah.
look universe, or they make them look alike.
Okay.
They're like part of a collection.
Right.
Sorry.
I should have some Starbursts.
I just found a game in my collection that is uglier than Through the Ages
Yes,
that I really like.
There it is. Lucas called them. They call them master prints. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, you ready?
I'm ready. Show me what you got, girl.
Wealth of Nations
Oh, that's not pretty.
is a really ugly game, and the cover is the
Oh.
least ugly part of it. I'm going to show you. Have you ever played this game? This is the gameplay. It is literally hexes with dots on them.
Nice.
Is what you play, and cubes for days. That is the entirety of the game, and it is a wonderful heavy economic game that is an eyesore to not to be rivaled on the table. Like it is the most uninspired game from a looks standpoint. They couldn't even bother. I'm not going to pull the whole game out because it's not worth that much time. They couldn't even bother to put like a piece of art in the center hex that you're building around. They just put the words Wealth of Nations in there. Like it's that
Solid
level of
C
bad.
for effort.
See, I have hopes of this being a really good game. Real pretty horticulture.
Yeah.
I don't.
But my hopes were dashed when it says, "Who plant the different kinds of planets to become a beautiful garden on the back?" You plant different kinds of planets.
Oh, well, okay. So if we're going to start talking about
But that's
typos,
English. That's just, is that so much a typo or is that more a translation issue?
Well, they've got both, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked on the show about the Tasty Minstrel edition of Amun-Re, which I think is one of the best auction games that has ever been made, and the unforgivable graphic layout issues in the rule book, where there
The
are
rule
like
book's trash. I agree.
words printed on top of words in the opening picture of what the game's supposed to look like. Like that's ridiculous. But that's not. I wouldn't call that an ugly game. That's just bad.
No, it's
editing.
fine.
I have
Yeah.
noticed a growing number of games with very pretty boxes but very ugly components.
Yeah.
That's because they're paying more for cover art now because that's what'll sell it on the shelf.
Yeah,
Which is accurate.
it teases. It's just it's
I don't-
heartbreaking when I open it up and
And I don't know. Does cover art matter to you at all? Round the horn. Do you care? No.
I don't care. It catches my eye.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. We are not the typical audience.
Right.
I mean, this is what the last hour of the main show was about, right? Is that we're not like we already
Right.
come at this from weird.
Right. We have a weird view of it.
Right.
The average consumer sees the box on the shelf at like Barnes and Nobles, the cover art matters. They're more likely to uninformed pick up and purchase a box that looks good.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's concerned with the components on the inside.
Okay. Jason, we haven't talked about El Grande as far as it being ugly because I already catch so much shit for my opinions on El Grande that I almost don't want to bring it out. Like I don't want to bring it up anymore because that's almost the running
yeah.
joke. I also
not
don't
pretty.
like the game, but it's a big part of it is that it's look like I also don't like. Here's Kingdom Builders, a great example of a seriously ugly game. Like that is clown puke. The Euro game.
Isn't it just hexes? I don't remember.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's hexes, but with, if I recall correctly, copy pasted the same piece of art over and over again in every hex to determine its terrain type, right? Like it doesn't even have a hex overlay on a piece of art. I think it's literally like the same picture of a field like 27 times across 27 hexes.
It's very, very Queen games.
Yeah, but not all Queen games are ugly.
I in general find Queen games pretty ugly, except for they have beautiful box inserts.
I don't know. I thought Fresco was a gorgeous game, as a great example.
Okay, oh yeah, I'll give you that one. Fresco's pretty, yeah.
Yeah, and Parfum is useless, but not ugly. Like I mean, it's way too light for me, but it's not an ugly game. It's actually got kind of cool components and whatever. I don't know. Yeah, it's not just kind of boring. But see, this is the thing, right? Like
I like Paris Connection too. I think it's fine.
Yeah, it is a chance for a legit gripe. I know, Jason, and I really appreciate you trying to toss me a softball here. I don't know. Yeah, choose that card from your hand of one card. Okay, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because that's the thing that people bitched about Carcassonne too, and Carcassonne is just fine. Anyway, go.
How about Oracle of Delphi? That was just too many colors.
Yeah, it's kind of
it's just busy.
It's like vomit colors everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
what is the one that's actually like
Tribes.
vomity looking? No, 5 Tribes is fine.
Why? Wait, well, hold on. Why is 5 Tribes fine though? Because all it is
Why is
400 million meeples scattered across the
'Cause
board.
That's not the art. That's just meeples.
Right, but that's part of the presentation of the game, isn't it?
I mean, yeah.
Is that
but
not
they're just colored meeples. It's not the same as like.
Okay, but we're not talking about whether the game has nice art. We're talking about is the game ugly. I would argue that that's part of it.
Okay. I
Right?
think
I like Carcassonne. And those are fighting words in this chat room.
they're cute.
You like the old art or new art better?
Yeah, the new art is nicer. It's prettier.
Well, okay, but all art has been slowly creeping towards better
Isn't
over
that
the last 50
exactly?
years. Like that's just
And why would
because
they make it uglier?
okay.
I don't know. Rio Grande is kind of showing the backwards movement. My God, can they get any more neon with those Dominion boxes?
They have
and
Oh wow, yeah.
and what was that recent one that they put out that was just so awful?
So my favorite on the Dominion boxes is the European Dominion boxes when Hig had it were just beautiful. Like I almost bought German boxes for my Dominion sets.
Yeah,
because I love them so much. But apparently, it recently switched over to I think it's something. The initials are ASS. It's After Dark. I can say that.
Oh.
And they went back to ugly boxes. So it's like Dominion in Europe is regressing in beautifulness.
Have you seen that new Dominion cover? Those people on that Dominion. I mean, I feel like we're being punked with that. That's amazing.
but that's how all the new boxes have been, right? For it,
It's just so terrible. So terrible.
it's like a
It's
neon
so good.
square around it, and then
I choose to think of it as
I mean,
Dominion
the
is starting
faces.
to more accurately reflect its gameplay through its
Stop it, Bill.
No, go look at. You've got to find the new Dominion. Look at the close up of their faces.
Yeah.
So what do
I
you
guess what I'm saying is that I think the game was shitty before, and it's not.
I mean, I gathered what you're saying. I'm choosing to ignore the bashing of Dominion. We get you. Everybody caught it.
It's not a good
Jeez.
game. It's not a good game.
You're not
It's-
a good game.
I'm aware.
Oh, okay.
I was not intelligently designed either, but that's a whole different. Oh boy.
Wow.
What about
Oh boy. It's after dark. I'm allowed to say stupid shit. Shut up. Anyway,
What
what?
I was just fine with it. I just thought it was funny.
Fine.
so?
Thanks.
Do you have an opinions on Yellow's art? I know that that's always controversial. I love it.
It's a little
It's
too
just
blue.
Love you, Patrick.
Yeah. thank
Yellow's
you.
art is intended to look kid friendly. It's fine.
I don't know. This is the only
What's
yellow
the
game
one
that I
I've
can
got?
think of
I
off the
got
top of my head.
the cherry tree one. You know, it was all interesting. The only one I had recently is the cherry tree one, and it was all fine, but it was like this clusterfuck of like just weird styles that didn't all blend.
Cherry tree one. I don't even know what that is.
Cherry tree that only blooms every 10,000 years or something.
Okay.
Crystal
That's the name of the game?
Yeah. It was an okay. It's a little push your luck.
The game is a cherry tree that only blooms every 10,000 years or something.
Yes, that's the name of the game.
Except for the last two words you just said. Yeah, that's the
Yes.
title of the game.
Yes,
That's a really long title.
it is. It's an annoyingly long title, and
Yeah, okay.
yeah. Everyone's kind of ripping
Oh,
on it.
Pillars of the Earth is not pretty. I see that behind Patrick's head.
Right, but like it's got
Wait,
this
what?
weird pleather bag, and Just,
Wait, Pillars of the Earth isn't pretty?
Oh my
Like
god!
I don't like the game.
I love you.
but
I don't think it's pretty.
No. I don't think it's pretty.
I
don't
love
think it's
what's his
pretty.
name?
I think you're pretty. I don't think
Michael Menzel.
Yeah, Menzel.
Everybody talks about how great his art is, and I've never been a particularly big fan. That's why I was shocked when you said that was not a pretty game, because I remember when that game first came out, everybody was really excited about how pretty it was.
I think the board is really pretty. I think everything else.
that was like not exactly a week ago either. Art style and all has changed.
Okay, but
Daniel,
it
love you.
isn't. But it isn't typically held up as an ugly game. Like, people don't normally say,
No.
"Wow, that Pillars of the Earth game is real ugly."
But I mean, he's still doing stuff. He's still doing
he's
the
very
dragon
successful.
thing. The
Legends of Andor, he did. He's got
Legends of Andor. Yeah.
Hey, how come we're all crabby tonight?
I'm not. I'm actually not
I
crabby
feel like
at all.
we're all cranky tonight. I'm sorry. I'm tired and cranky.
No, we're fine.
You'll have to
Strangely
go
giggly.
out tomorrow.
All right. How about Dinosaur Island? Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh,
I've
Dinosaur
never
Island?
played it, but those dinosaurs are adorable.
If you like Miami Vice, you're gonna like it. That neon.
Yeah, I put that soundtrack on whenever we play the game.
I don't like the game, so I'm biased a little bit. But I didn't have a problem with
Is
the art
Thomas
style.
still in the chat room because he was
It's
bitching about
okay.
that game the other day.
I don't know.
Oh, speaking of Miami Vice, I got to tell you a little story. So I
Let's
go
do
to
it.
I go to a business conference, and I wore my suit the first day, and then the next day I go to get dressed and realized I forgot a second dress shirt, and all I had was a t-shirt. So I wore my t-shirt and my business suit, and I felt like and I was Don Johnson.
You went topless with the blazer.
Yeah, that's what I did. That would have looked better. That's my late night look, is when I told people.
That's business meetings after dark. Patrick.
Yeah, that's business meetings after dark. Yeah.
And I will be the person who says I prefer the Arboretum old art to the new, Chris.
I haven't looked at it that much.
Oh, yeah, I haven't really checked, but they're trees. I don't.
They are trees.
They're pretty either way. They're
I
fine.
sure ordered both, both new cop versions. So
When did we get our wooden box with?
I don't know. I saw somebody post a freaking picture of it today. And
I know, I did.
They had them at Essen, but I didn't want to.
Oh, maybe that's how they got it. So
Okay, I want to backpedal a little bit, because I want to talk about something that I brought up really briefly and kind of got blown past, and it's something that Tom said, where he said functional equals perfect, and everybody's like functional equals functional. That's fine. I get that part, and I don't disagree with that. However, I think personally that all of the stuff that you put on the table means whether the game is pretty or not just the art, not just the box, not just the angry white dude on the cover of the game. All of that is part of it together, right? Like that makes perfect sense to me. Like, for instance, First Martians. I'm going to use this as a great example. Okay. This game I think is gorgeous on the table, not because I particularly like the design style of what he did, but because everything works together and creates a seamless, really cool. You look like you're looking at a computer console, because he went with the red and green cubes, the acrylic cubes or whatever they are. Like, I really like that. I feel like we keep, every time we talk about whether a game is pretty or not, we keep going to, but look at the artwork and look at but it's not just the art, right? It's like, it's the whole game as a whole.
Okay, they're reprinting Cleopatra and the Society of Architects.
Good.
There is an awesome
Patrick,
game.
is that the
I
game
hope
I
they
played
don't
with
fuck
you?
it up. I don't know. Did we play that?
I want to own that game so bad.
Yeah.
If for no other reason, then I will try to ham-fistedly paint all of those plastic pieces.
Mhm.
Ham-fisted or hand-fisted?
Fat Albert teach you?
Well, the second
hell?
one doesn't make sense, so we'll go with ham-fisted.
and now
Okay.
you have it.
Anyway, that's a fabulous game that I love, as well as the fact that it's a wonderful Days of Wonder production, and I'm worried they're going to destroy it. Here is a topic for a show or a Twitter feed. Name for me a game that's been reprinted that hasn't sucked. The reprint hasn't sucked.
Manhattan.
So, like, the
Manhattan?
reprint
Brass.
is
I don't know. I don't like
Brass.
the look of that clear. Does that play okay? It
Yeah.
looks horrible to me.
It plays fine.
Okay.
I mean, they may be a little bit better if they aren't so see-through, but I think
Yes.
I'm
Okay,
just
there's
gonna-
one.
I'm
All
just
right,
going to
that-
hold this up
that looks-
forever.
That looks pretty.
Wrath is so beautiful. High Society
Gorgeous.
looks amazing.
Yeah, but that's a horrible game, Kimberly. So we'll move on.
Which one? Which one?
High Society. I haven't played Brass, so I'll give that one a pass.
Through the
So
Ages.
good. Wrath
Through
so
the
good.
Ages. There's a good one. Thank you.
The second
I mean,
edition's
I'm
way
here to be.
better.
I'm here to be corrected. I
Sherlock
wanted to
Holmes
be.
Consulting Detective.
Demaker.
Yeah. Oh my God, my '87 version.
Oh, I thought I played Demarker.
Demaker started out ugly, got uglier, and then the
Oh, nice.
most recent printings aren't bad.
Yeah. Well, politics is ugly.
Oh,
so,
actually,
you know.
Medici got much prettier.
Good. Okay. All right. All right. I stand corrected.
Prettier. Right.
Amon Ray sucks in its new version because the rulebook's hot garbage, but the game itself is prettier.
Yep.
Like once you get
Container?
past the
Aren't
rulebook,
bad.
the game itself is amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I think the new Concordia is prettier.
I think Concordia.
Oh boy, there's an ugly game. We missed that one.
Container's a good
Concordia.
choice.
Box cover of the original Concordia
Oh,
box.
Concordia.
Wait a second. Lisboa.
Awesome.
Tikal, I don't like that game anyway. But I
Lisboa, because Lisboa is beautiful. I can't word, but it's pretty.
wait a second. Lisboa has been printed twice.
No.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Thomas is talking about there.
I'm
Thomas,
confused.
we love you, but we're also afraid that you're on the drugs right now, sir.
Like Odin's Ravens, I agree with. Container, I agree with. Brass, obviously. Lisboa, I think, is only one printing, right? Like that's
Yeah.
I only know it's the
that's-
one printing too.
Yeah.
I know.
Thunderstone.
To call.
Does that
I've never
count?
played the-
First edition Thunderstone was real super ugly. Thunderstone Advance, it's almost a different game. I don't know. That one might
No,
not
I've
count.
never played.
That might not count.
It might not.
I don't know. Again, I'm really more team Tom though. Like I know when a game is beautiful and I will go, "Ooh, that's beautiful." But I also don't care very often. Like I wasn't mortally offended by the
Okay. You said
Weirdly-
Vinos.
Venus.
Oh, Venus. Yeah.
Mhm.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. A lot of
Yeah,
people
that
that's
one
better.
has been reprinted.
That's
I
better.
like-
Although again, I didn't like the first edition of the game. I'll be right back.
Both. Did you realize I say the word both with an L in it?
No.
I'm working on it. Yeah. How do you say it? Everybody else say it.
Both.
What one?
No, not both. I say it both.
What are we saying?
Both.
Both.
But
No
I'm
way.
practicing
We're
it
off the
properly.
rails.
Both.
In a stunning
Ooh,
turn of
Endeavor.
events, we're
And it's,
off the
it's
rails.
after dark. It's all supposed to be off the rails.
It's
Yeah,
not
Endeavor
supposed
is a good one. Stronghold Thomas would just argue that it's just as unplayable the second edition, so who cares?
Oh, I thought he just meant like anything.
Or
that's
anything
fun.
Stronghold.
Wow. I
It's
never.
hardcore, my puppies.
I hope.
I need to play Stronghold one of these days. That's one of those games that has always been on my list that I'd like to try.
I played it
but-
with Ignacy at BGG.
Okay. I've always wanted to try it. I never have.
I liked it.
I don't know. I guess I just don't care. I really don't. Like I'm way more interested. The 3M version of Bazaar.
Oh,
What is that?
I have the
Well,
three.
Bazaar is wonderful. I have a really shitty.
3M? Isn't that the? Don't they make like Scotch tape?
They make toilet paper.
They used to make a lot of things.
The egg version is kind of cool.
They make board games. Oh, I think that's not bad.
Oh
What's wrong with
gosh, Sid
that?
Saxon games used to be by 3M.
Yeah. Well, and not just Sid Saxon.
No, I know, but there was oh gosh, I got one here somewhere. Hang on.
Are you trying to find one of these, buddy? The 3M bookshelf?
No, they're little tiny boxes. I don't know where mine are.
Oh my gosh, there's little Pokeballs on your hat. I didn't notice that
Yeah.
ever before. I think we were just too busy noticing that your nudity the
You
first
haven't
time.
seen
I
my
missed the
balls.
Pokeballs. I didn't
You
see your
haven't
balls.
seen my balls.
I think this is the oldest game that I own.
I haven't seen your balls, thankfully.
Oh, there's another topic. Oldest game you have.
I think this is the oldest game I own.
Nice.
No.
Some versions of Acquire are pretty ugly.
Yeah. Oh my god. I got the 64 one, the white plastic one.
How old is this game?
I got like a
Copyright 1962.
nice.
I think
Damn, girl.
I think mine would also be Twix as well.
It is a surprisingly good game that I'm real bad at. I played this with my dad when I was a little kid. This is probably one of the first hardcore, not hardcore, but I mean one of the first like serious board games I ever.
I'm still so mad about that guy taking the trademark or whatever it was, and
Yeah.
Here's one. Monad. These are little 3M games.
There you
Yeah,
go.
all of those were ugly. Every
Yeah.
last one of them.
I'm really
Yeah.
curious. What is the oldest game in everybody's collection?
Sorry.
I have no idea.
Paul,
This is
I
19.
was not ignoring you. I didn't catch it because I wasn't looking at the chat. I apologize. Stronghold Undead will be a standalone
wasn't
game coming out next year. So
I don't
Gotcha.
understand what that is, Paul.
oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't
We were talking about-
Paul that said I was ignoring things. It was Tom.
Yeah.
No. What am I ignoring, Tom? Now I'm very confused.
Some versions
Oh,
of
yeah.
Acquire are ugly. Some are pretty though.
Oh yeah, no, there's some mass market ones that are made like out of chipboard that are just atrocious.
Yeah.
All right, so going to my collection here, I got this game called like some sort of rich uncle or something. It's like the 40s.
Oh, the one that Pitt was based off of.
Really?
Hang on. No, but it's not the same thing you're thinking of.
Yeah, 1946 is the one I got. I think that's my oldest game. That's
Damn,
not
girl.
like
That's Patrick.
yes. Hello.
3 or 4 years.
What?
It's 3 or 4 years older than you. I was kidding. I love
Oh.
you.
You're funny.
I was thinking you were thinking
Okay.
of this.
No,
Gavitt Stock Exchange. Sorry.
nope. I have a game called Rich Uncle, which I actually played. It's pretty cool.
This is the game originally published in 1903 that was the inspiration for Pitt.
Oh yeah. Well, Pitt's from like 1903.
Now, Pitt is inspired by this game, which is from 1903.
Oh, okay. I thought Pitt was 100 years old or so.
They're basically the same game. It's just a matter of whether you think of one of them as, you know what I mean? Like, are they the same game or are they close?
Yes.
That's the hard way of looking at it. My autofocus is going nuts. There we go. That's better. I don't know.
So the older version is
We're not-
actually
we don't-
called Commerce. Commerce.
Older version of what? Pitt?
Commerce was Pitt.
Okay.
Well, this was
What is yours called, Bill?
Gavitt's Stock Exchange.
Okay.
I believe this is from when Out of the Box still existed. I forgot about that.
I'm
I don't know.
sleepy.
I don't know. It's funny because I think some games, I've never been a particularly big fan of Acquire. I know that that's a little bit of heresy.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, it's not my favorite game in the world. But like Stevenson's Rocket right here is basically, as far as I can tell, Acquire with trains. Like it's almost the
I
same.
like trains.
Yeah, it's basically like a weird sort of Steam meets Acquire is a way to describe it, I think. Because you have each company is sort of, you're building routes around them, and when one company touches another one, like when your routes end up intersecting, the two will combine and turn into one big company, and then whoever has shares in it.
It's getting a new printing, right?
This is the new printing, sir.
Oh,
Hiya!
Bring that to the thing.
Yeah, I was planning on it. This was already on the short list of stuff that was coming to 5C, because I had a feeling it's a classic game that just came out.
I think Brandon hasn't been playing enough Knizia lately, so
Yeah, we need to up the ante a little bit.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah,
got
no.
Stevenson's Rocket just up the street, Chris. We can. I'm sure John has backed every one of them. So
I backed that because I really wanted this, which is going to sound weird.
Nice move.
I know, isn't
That's what I
that
was
lovely?
gonna say. Your boobies.
I really wanted this because Grail Games was the company that was doing the English
Oh,
version.
that's got to be
I
good.
can
It's got
play
an angry
Cash
guy
Cow.
on
I
it.
do too.
angry Euro dude.
I'm sorry, what, Kimberly?
I said I have played that. It's also very ugly.
Yeah, it is ugly. And it doesn't really try very hard either.
No.
Like, there is a whole bunch of decisions that were really poorly made in the printing
Yeah.
of this, which makes me sad because this is a really good game. But
yeah, the gameplay is pretty good.
Like, here's a great example. There are 5 different colored little bags there, and they went to the trouble of making custom meeples, but they didn't go to the trouble of making them the colors different shapes, which is stupid because there's already 2 other kinds of custom meeples. So why wouldn't you just make them all different shapes and be done with it? That's just
Well, and they went with poor color choices. They're too similar.
yeah, for sure. Although I just watched a video on Vsauce today talking about how color blindness can be accounted for, but not perfectly, because color is a construct of the human mind, and only certain aspects of it can be accounted for. So what you perceive as being like your version of colorblind and my version of colorblind could be biologically similar, but effectively different, which I think is really interesting. I just thought it was a fascinating way of thinking about it. So that almost makes me want to be a little bit more forgiving of publishers now, because it's like, well, maybe they looked at it and they thought that it did look all right, but it's not.
I mean, there's still small things that they can do, like.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, what is that?
Like
it's Mongolian goat rodeo. He got it. I got it.
Okay.
What?
Mongolian goat rodeo.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
Hey,
we're circling back way back in the chat. There was a game that came in a hemp bag that was like a burlap game that was about pot smoking that used to keep on the back shelf of the game stores. Does anyone remember that? Was that
what?
No. Am I too old?
No, but I would like you to finish this conversation. What?
Which one?
Talking about
Mongolian barbecue?
The pot smoking game. What?
There was a game that was about pot that was like in a burlap bag or a hemp bag, and they used to keep it on the shelf behind the counter so kids couldn't get into it.
You're silly.
And we were talking about it in the chat room. I thought we were, but then he was actually talking about the actual burlap sack game that they were talking about at Secret Gabal meetups. We were confusing 2 different games.
Yeah, that happens.
Yes. Anyway, so what's this Mongolian barbecue game?
Goat rodeo, not barbecue. I would like it a lot better if it was actually a Mongolian barbecue. That would be great.
You can convert the Mongolian goat rodeo into a Mongolian barbecue.
That'd be all right. No, Chad was on the show and talked about it a lot about a month and a half ago.
Yep.
Oh,
and it was longer than that.
Was it?
You got to dig through the archives to find the Mongolian goat.
It was like 15 minutes of a show.
He told me the game.
Oh, is this the one we got up and ran out and got it? And
yes. Well, no, the one, because every time Chad, that's that's sort of Chad's MO. That's right.
Just an episode where we just watched Chad dig through his collection.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Nope, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
I think it's charming. It's a little weird, but it's charming.
It's offensive that he has Ginkopolis still in shrink and just likes to taunt people with it. But.
Yes,
he has Ginkopolis still in shrink.
Yep.
What is this?
With the expansion right next to it,
because he's got
Isn't
2 copies
somebody
of
reprinting Gink now? Isn't like Renegade reprinting it?
No, Renegade's not. Pearl is talking about it eventually.
Oh, I would like
yeah, but they're teases.
What? Chris?
Yeah, okay. I'm not crazy.
I said at their rate of growth, let's be honest, it's only a matter of time before Renegade does too.
Yeah.
We're running out of shit.
I have never seen a company as young as Renegade Games come out with as many products, or at least start announcing as many products as Renegade Games has.
I had sworn off a Renegade, but damn it, Reichhold is kind of good.
Reichhold was really good.
Well, Raiders of the North Sea is really good too. I mean, they do make good games. They make a lot of really good games.
And I shouldn't say that for Renegade, because that's not a Renegade game. That's a Frosted game. That was a Juve game. And Raiders of your North Sea, that's a Garpil game. That's not a Renegade game. They did not develop. They didn't do
they're just publishing them. Yeah. They're reprinting. They're distributing. They're not.
Yeah.
I'm pretty pumped for the new version of Arboretum.
What's that?
Arboretum?
Arboretum, yeah.
Yeah, Arboretum. Yes, you must forget the
It's a variation of
Did they
Arboretum.
misspell it
It's
on the
an
box?
aberration.
Oh, it's on the back of the cards, or it was.
Yeah, there's a typo on the cards.
Yeah.
How did
Actually,
I not know that? That's amazing.
My version spelled correctly.
Yours is. Yeah, the new
Mine
ones,
is
I
spelled
assume
correctly.
that's why they took so long to get here, because they were supposed to be here in August, right?
I have to be honest. I'd rather own Arboretum than Arboretum because I
I
think
mean,
it's a fun story to tell the people that I
Mhm.
play with. I don't know.
Oh, I
now I
agree.
would really like one.
Uh-huh.
My spell check won't let me spell Arboretum anymore. Now
Autocorrects it to the wrong spelling.
it goes to Arboretum.
Jesus.
So,
There's a whole episode, like there's a whole conversation to be had about unfortunate autocorrect stuff in board gaming.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying board gaming specifically has created a lot of really bad autocorrect.
but yeah,
I agree.
it's good.
And my phone doesn't know how to do normal words anymore. It corrects everything to board games.
Yeah. All right. What's the correct way to do
Could you
board
not
games?
token
With a
die?
space or not?
Space.
Yeah, space. It's 2 words.
I don't.
2 words.
I don't. I call it one.
It's 2 words.
I don't know.
What would W. Eric Martin do?
So my coworkers made fun of me the other day because they said that most board games I play are actually card games.
Oh, I've had that talk with people.
That
And
is,
I was like, I don't know how to defend myself here. And they're like, there's no board in this, Chris.
That's
And I'm like-
valid.
I'm a hobby gamer.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good way to do words.
the way that
It's actually 6 words.
I've had this conversation with people a few times, very recently actually, because a bunch of my friend circles are just starting to realize what I mean when I say that I'm a gamer.
Yeah.
And like I pulled out my quiver, and they were like, "What is what?" There are no board games in there.
Show us your new quiver, Bill.
Excuse me, if I had said pull out your quiver, you guys would have died.
Yeah. No,
I
your new
know.
mini quiver.
Okay.
Never mind. So
Anyway.
it's after dark. I was,
Bill is
No,
crazy.
I am indeed not cranky. I just didn't get that joke. Anyway, I was showing them this, and they're like, "Well, wait, you can't put board games in that." I'm like, "Why not?" Like, because there's no boards. Oh, okay. And then I had to stop and think about it. And what I realized is gamer, like the term gamer has been completely co-opted by video games over
Right.
the last 15 years.
Yeah.
And so I used to just call myself a gamer, but that is no longer accurate. So hobby gamer also isn't accurate because all games are a hobby, right? Like, I mean, that doesn't work either. So you have to pick something. And because everything involves, the tabletop gamer is what I started to say because
That's what I was going to say. Tabletop games encompasses.
tabletop games is the one that I've started using after that, but I still default to board gaming, even though sometimes the games don't involve boards.
I
And
see
then
people
with-
use analog too, analog gaming.
Yeah, but see, I don't like that because to me that could be, I don't know, pinball.
Yeah, it's
You
not
know?
really very descriptive. But I just say I'm a gamer because honestly, I play video games. I play-
Right, but you are
Yeah.
like you are a video gamer almost as much as you are a board gamer.
You do too. You played Binding of Isaac 50 billion hours. That's a video.
Well, yeah, but that's one game that I haven't played in over a month, to give you an idea. Like, I don't know, not a thing.
Sorry. I don't know what Chad's doing with his quiver.
I just,
Oh, let me go read the chat. Whew. Oh, Jesus. This is what the After Dark is for, my friends.
That's what
We're being
that's what
far
they keep
too
telling me.
normal and mature and cranky tonight. Usually we're just giggly idiots who swear.
Sure,
Hey.
that'll be the thing.
All right, I got to call it a night, folks.
Yeah,
Thank
you.
as do
Me
I.
too.
go vote tomorrow.
Tomorrow is election day. Go vote.
Yes.
I am going to be working with a friend of mine that is running for my state assembly. So I very much hope that this goes well. And then we're going to top it off with a game night because either we will be celebrating or the games will make us feel better about what just happened, one way or the other.
Yep, that's a solid plan, my dear.
There you go.
Yay.
So everybody
I'm
have
gonna go die as Chewbacca now. I love you.
have a great night, everybody. We will talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.